So, bringing the bar down, as I don't do often at all. Normally my topics are all happy and lovely and Mario and Nintendo.
I was going to say, which Nintendo
Pink.
game are we talking about today?
I know, yeah. Which lovely thing are we talking about today? 9/11, really? I don't know how to. I don't know how to really go into this at all.
That's a bad choice of words.
This is gonna be difficult to talk about. So, if you haven't already seen, you should. Well, you can waste a bit of your time and go and actually have a look at it. But someone has came up with a 9/11 virtual reality kind of game at the moment that's coming out for the Oculus Rift.
It's not what you think.
No, it's pretty much just done from an office worker. Happens to be working on September the 11th, 2001, and it happens just as the impact happens while you're sat in your office, and it's really just trying to get out of the building. I think this would be okay. At the moment, it's a really crap graphic and not done very well at all. Sorry if the person who made it ends up watching this for some
top job.
Reason. Yeah, well done for that. I think the idea is really good. I think it would be good as long as if they keep it internal and they don't go external with it and start saying like, oh, well, that plane looked a bit strange. Oh, I found a bomb in the building. That's strange. What is this doing here? It must be an inside job. As long as if they don't go into all the different, speculations that people have about 9/11.
Is your topic sort of about using real world events in video games?
I'm saying it's okay. I want to stick with just 9/11 at the moment with this idea because I think that would be okay to do properly if you kept it as a survival game. I know obviously thousands of people died, but a lot of people on the lower floors managed to get out. And this is the idea that you will try and escape, and it's unfortunate because in this one the explosion happens below them, which means these people are screwed anyway because there was no way out for those people. So I think if they did it in an altered way that the explosion happened above them, then it could be a game in which you are trying to escape and you're met with all of these different objectives that they would have been met with. It's it's just a really hard-hitting, thought-provoking game, and I think it could be done if they don't go into who did it really and too much speculation about 9/11 because obviously it's never ending.
Well, my personal thoughts on this are people should pretty much be allowed to make what they want. One medium shouldn't take more precedent over another medium. There's been films of 9/11, for example. Not all of them have been good, some of them have been great. So the real problem lies is how they treat the subject and the topic matter and how they present it.
That's what I'm saying with, this could be fine as long as if they don't make it a big film about a big game about
even that.
Did it.
I mean you never know, they could do all of those things that you say you wouldn't want to see, but they might do it in a way which you end up really enjoying. So creatively I don't think people should ever be restricted, but there needs to be moral you need to treat stuff with respect. You need to treat the subject matter
definitely,
and
it's
very recent as well.
Yeah, exactly. The more modern tragedies, you've got to be so gentle with it because there are still family members, who have lost loved ones in these tragedies. So you have got to be really gentle with it, and down to. I don't know where the point is. I mean, could we do something based on the London bombings? Could we do something based on anything like that?
I
think it'd be interesting if you're approaching it from an educational standpoint. Like if you're trying to, it depends what you're trying to say out of it, doesn't it? Like if they're trying to make you empathise, with the people. Like, I think I said to you when you mentioned it, I was just like, that's kind of cool because, like, you have. It's going to get really dark from where we've just been going, but
sorry.
Like you have all this youth that gets exposed to like all this kind of ISIS propaganda and stuff. If there was some way to expose them to this kind of thing, like the human side of what that kind of tragedy would entail, it could very well switch off some people from pursuing that kind of.
Possibly. This is big.
That's very
very
deep.
big
That's
topic.
really deep.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff out there that reinforces it blows stuff up, it's all fun and blah 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 blah. If you have a few more things that, I mean,
Yeah,
You know, I'm
that's
so
what I'm
glad you
saying.
said
it's a bit more like sensitive and
Yeah,
like, kind
definitely.
of can
It's the other side of the coin,
turn the
isn't
tide. Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Well, for me, gaming, it's the medium with the absolute most potential, and I think that's a big problem with gaming, and I think that's what it's called, gaming. People associate gaming
Yeah.
with toys and with kids. I think what we're looking at now isn't just simple games. We're looking at experiences,
Mm.
and I just reviewed Soma a couple of weeks ago, and I said the way they treat the topic matter in that game, it's not a serious game, but it deals with a lot of sort of like deep thinking stuff, and
Yeah.
it felt more like an experience. It feels like games are another medium where you can explore like the human condition, and they shouldn't always be treated as kids play toys, because they really are not. You know, obviously, the easiest example is to say, well, kids shouldn't play an 18-year-old game like, like GTA because it's violent and that.
Absolutely, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. But there's also, on the other hand as well, it's dealing with topic matter, and I think games, because they're so engaging, because it's not a passive experience, you're engaged in the experience. Some of the stuff like this 9/11 simulator could potentially be really sort of like deep and profound,
Mm.
provided they deal with it right. I mean, it makes you think about stuff like achievements and that. Are you gonna get?
Well, I
get
don't think they do
achievements
that,
and
but like
trophies?
it reminds me like the graphics were terrible at the time, but when Medal of Honor Allied
Yeah,
Assault
yeah.
came out and you did the Dunkirk,
Omaha Beach.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That's
and at the
exactly
time,
what
you,
that's
you're just
yeah.
like, this feels a bit like wrong, and you weren't meant to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like it was meant to be.
The
harrowing.
thing I love about
Yes.
especially Medal of Honor Omaha Beach, I mean, that is by far the best. I mean, well, you know I love Medal of Honor, so again, but that first mission is just so incredible, and the reality, it's a long intro as well, building up to it in the boats, and you've got, you can obviously still look around, and you've got a boat gets blown up literally to the side of you before you even get to the beach. You've got soldiers on your boat, one's throwing up, one's, praying to God. And it is really hard. And then especially when it gets lowered down and you get opened up to the elements, straight away, the first couple of rows, dead,
Yeah.
gone. And there isn't a respawn button in real life, and it is really hard hitting. And I think with this, you need to have that kind of impact of
Yes.
crap.
And that's where in lies what I was saying. Games aren't just games; it's an experience. And there's another game I should hopefully be reviewing soon. It came out in 2012, and that was Spec Ops: The Line. And that game felt distinctly unpleasant to play. And I absolutely commend the people who made that game for doing that, because it was. I don't know if anyone's ever watched Apocalypse Now. But it's very similar to that in tone. You basically, the American troops, you're going in somewhere, and you can't. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but things
Is it set in that period or?
It's not set in World War II. It's more of a modern conflict.
Okay.
It's set in Dubai, and basically, I think Dubai's been hit by sandstorms, and they send in American troops as relief aid, and then some of the troops start being dicks basically, and it all snowballs.
Okay.
And there's some scenes, and there's one scene in my head which is burned into my head now, which is really dark. It's a very unpleasant game, and like I said, I commend them, because what they did, instead of making a game fun, like a Twitch shooter almost, where it's just points, headshots, this, that, they made me question the
That's cool.
morality of war.
But that's slightly different. Than that's dealing with like a general theme of the day and applying it to like a fictional situation rather than
actually
reenacting thing. Yeah, like I was gonna say, Medal of Honor I thought did it really well, because that was at a time when I don't know, like FPSs were just FPSs, weren't they?
Yeah.
No one was really
Yeah.
bothered about
Yeah.
story and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what the one reason probably why I can remember it, because I was like, oh wow, they're actually
was,
trying
yeah.
to do. And I think Band of Brothers was out at the same sort of time.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's
Saving
that-
Private Ryan as
yeah,
well.
and Saving
Shorty
Private Ryan.
yeah.
So everyone was
Brothers in
really
Arms
aware of it.
did the similar thing. Road to Hill 60, I think. That told a true story as well. I wish I finished that game. Another game I wish I finished.
But I think like in recent years, people have been doing it in a really insensitive way, and it's kind of like gore porn.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Call of Duty
Yeah.
World at War. I think you start breaking into like a Japanese prisoner of war camp or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it. But there's stuff in there. You're just like, there's no need to
Do
put
you
this in
know,
here.
gore
It's
porn
like-
sums it up well because like you said, because it's insensitive. It was very good when they first used it in a Call of Duty game. It had meaning.
Yeah,
But
Modern
then it was
Warfare.
like, how
The
can
first
we
Modern
out-
Warfare was really, really
Yes.
good. When spoilers for 2007's Game of the Year, when the nuke goes off,
Yep.
and you're like, wow, like
Yeah.
it was just like unheard of. So
But
like
it quickly descended into
felt
how can we
immersive.
outdo it.
yeah, and then but like you say, Modern Warfare 2, you're like, oh, this is
This is
Yeah.
that moment in the game. You wait for the
Yeah.
moment in the game.
Modern Warfare 3 weren't too bad,
Yeah.
but the new ones are just
I was so into Modern Warfare. I can't believe
Yeah.
I've just totally
Call of
don't
Duty
mind that.
4 was
Yeah.
amazing.
So back on topic.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm just wondering if there could be a slot in the market for modern tragedy being made into games.
I think so. Like I say,
Absolutely,
it depends on how you approach it. I mean, is this just a tech demo at the moment?
I think it is. I think
It's
it's
just
something
some
that's just
kinda-
been made.
yeah.
You know, someone's got hold of the kit and they've just
Because you got to be
made it.
careful when you start making profits off it and stuff.
Yeah.
What you're
Yes.
doing that
Yeah,
for?
definitely. And I think that the thing that we all keep saying here, all three of us, you know, it's doing it in the right way. It's doing it. It's being,
Yeah.
you know, sympathetic to these people and gentle with how you approach it. Everyone, a lot of people have different opinions on what that could be.
Yes.
Hmm.
This is the problem. It's
I think
whoever makes the game.
It's a very valid experience to want to share with people, though. Like, and it's kind of noble, really. I suppose. Like, if you're like, I want people to like understand what it's just
Yeah.
like, and I suppose it's like morbid curiosity in a sense, but at the same time, if you're remembering people that way,
Yeah.
is that bad?
But
to
It's
remember
something.
them and
It's
stuff? You know what I mean?
this is a thing. It's like at the moment there's a few different people who've played it, so there's a few different endings, but to be as big as possible, the ending is always going to be the same. In this instance, is that your character will die, and the fact is that you get to choose. There's ways. I've seen two different versions now where one of the videos, a guy literally gets into a room, smoke coming in, and just stops in the middle of a corner and just crouches down, and slowly the screen goes to black because smoke inhalation and they died. But then on the end of another person, instead, when they got stuck into the end room as such, smashed a window and jumped out of it, and you can do that too and fall to your death, but the ending will always be that black screen and that's it. And I think it would be interesting for people to have that idea of there was no happy ending, there wasn't getting to the end in the right way. It was just these people in that moment, they made their choice.
Yes.
And you will never be able to experience that, but doing it as a game is the most immersive way of doing it.
It is. I think people naturally want to empathise and experience
it's
stuff
like,
as well.
even if
Even if it is morbidly so.
Even if I know obviously there's been a few different films that have been made based around the 9/11 attacks, and it's difficult because you are shown characters in movies. So if a certain person's that way inclined, a certain person's that way inclined, they're going to want to finish it in a different way. One of them will, jump out a window, the other one will stay there instead. In a game, it's your choice.
Yeah.
It will be your choice as this player to decide how to end it yourself. And I think it will really mess with your head when, if they could do it properly, I think it would be really interesting when that screen goes black of that reality of, shit,
Yeah.
this actually happened. This is what people have
It's
to
good.
choose from.
People need to understand that not every experience is a fun experience.
Yeah.
But
Like you say, games. It's that games,
Yeah.
kids, games. It's
But
happy. It's, whatever.
It's
and
the act of being moved by something. That's what's important. That's what film gets away with, because it's seen as grown up. I did write down a couple of other examples because I thought it was
go
a
for it.
really interesting topic. And there was a game coming out in 2009 called 6 Days in Fallujah, which was based on the bloodiest battle of the Iraq War, which happened in 2004. And what basically happened was American troops engaged with Al-Qaeda and Al-Qaeda insurgents as well. And like thousands of people died. I think I did write down the casualties just for some, so you have some idea. I mean, on the coalition side, like Britain, America, and so on, 107 people were killed, 613 people were wounded. On Al-Qaeda's side, 1,200 to 1,500 people were killed, and 1,500 people were captured, and that's not even going into casualties, innocent people, and bystanders and all that. And this is a game that drew a lot of controversy, and eventually a spokesperson from Kojima said they didn't want to produce the game because it was so recent. And for me, I thought this was really disappointing. It felt like a big step backwards for gaming.
Yeah.
Because
No,
if they did that game and they did that right, I can't think of any other way to engage someone and move them other than gaming.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult now. I mean, again, I was saying to Nikita, like in terms of like recent history, back in the 90s, how many games were there about like Desert Storm and like that was
exactly.
5 years, like
Yeah.
Technology's
ago.
kind of pushed.
But that's what I mean.
stuff away.
Technology got to the point now where you can feel things a lot more than like a
Yes.
top-down shooter or whatever.
Yes.
So I think there is, definite, case for, being sensitive and whatnot and what you approach.
I think it would be interesting to see if there was a place in the market for this, and I think this could take off. Just in general, more modern tragedies. It would be interesting.
It'd be a good thing
to
to have in
see-
schools.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the audience aim would be. Who you'd be trying to attract to play it, because I can't imagine people who love Call of Duty, let's run around and blah, 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 bang, 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 arm dead, respawn, blah. I can't imagine them wanting to sit through a game like
Well,
this,
yeah.
or
Well, could you imagine
or
like a
have their
game-
time.
So if this game come out, this 6 Days in Fallujah, what it would have hopefully if they did it right and it wasn't just another Call of Duty clone, what it would give people is a sense of what it's actually like to be in a war and to actually pull a trigger and have consequences as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be a very big wake up call.
This
Yeah,
is
like I
the
say,
thing.
that Call of Duty was really good at that. Like it
The
did.
first year.
You did feel like, like you felt bad about certain things. You had to take your
Yeah.
time and stuff. But then, as that got mass market, it just got dumbed down to the point of there isn't a story. I don't think anyone
Curse
plays
of
a single player
franchises,
anymore.
isn't
No.
it? That's what
No.
happens. Do you know Soma, which again as a game I reviewed, that really moved me. There's moments in that game. There's a puzzle in the game. It's a very simple puzzle, but to pass the puzzle means you have to do something which is very morally sort of ambiguous. And I ran around that level for about an hour trying to figure out a different way to do this thing, because I was just like, I can't do
Yeah.
what they wanted me to do.
But that's incredible, isn't it, when you think how far games have come that they can make you feel that way,
Yeah.
that you try to avoid something that the game's put in there. I think that... I've always said, I really want in the future... I know everyone's saying virtual reality and being more immersed and whatever, but my main thing is I want to feel.
Yes,
I want to
absolutely.
feel the emotion of the character that I am.
So it's like
I
in
want
general.
to feel.
I want to be
Please, no. I think literally that's all I want is I just want to feel this emotion. I mean, The Last of Us, Joel and Ellie, like you want to be able to feel the emotions that the characters are experiencing, especially if you're going to go first person.
I like to think of myself as quite a creative person, and I do have a lot of ideas for like computer games, and I've noticed a lot of my ideas are very like character driven and emotional,
Thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I really like the idea of
Yeah, well, that's how-
subverting-
It's because that's
Genres.
what you want and that's what you'd like to create
yeah,
for others.
But I'm
Like I say, in terms of like what we've gone about here, like 9/11 and whatnot, I think I don't know, like to do it about an actual event, like you were saying, like the London bus bombings or whatever. I don't know if you could encapsulate the essence of that in like a fictional environment, that might be better.
I think it would be a lot more accepted, but I don't know if it'd be better.
Yeah.
But you know, like in a few years' time, I'm sure there will be all that kind of like historical reenactment stuff.
Yeah.
Like it would be really interesting when VR comes out to like do one for like trench warfare, like in the First World War.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting because
Yeah,
you hear
definitely.
everything
You
about
don't
it. And, like,
see
you
many
can't really.
World War One games, and that's because
Not anymore. You don't know.
and the trenches themselves. It's a perfect game because of the experience of being in a trench. Obviously, trench warfare wasn't like World War Two. You know, they were stuck in the trenches sometimes for weeks, some months.
Yep.
And I can't see that it wouldn't work as a FPS. It really wouldn't work. But as a game where you're engaged and you've got to try and survive daily life, I think it could work really well.
Yeah, it's like a kind of open world survival game. It would be quite interesting.
I think that'd be an incredible way to show a generation the horrors and realities of World War One.
But again, I like what Sam was saying. I think it'd be really good in schools. I think it would be something, you know, if you could create that. How
Yeah, my
brilliant would that
mum
be?
works in a school, and it's scary sometimes the stuff that they don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When
and they
she
don't
comes back and she
understand
says,
and
yeah.
can't
And
grasp.
right here we've got a medium, which they
Would interest. What was it? Is it Valiant Hearts from last year?
The RPG was it?
No, from Ubisoft, the
Yeah,
side
yeah.
scroller.
Yeah, I know.
And that was set on true stories, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Set in World War One.
Mm.
I'll be honest, I've got it downloaded, I haven't had a chance to play it, but it's that type of thing, like it's you think it's just an adventure game, but it's like tricking someone into learning something, isn't it? Basically.
Damn it, I'm learning.
You've really
Wait
got
a
to move.
minute.
You've really got to move with the times. It kind of feels like education's falling behind our technology and our interests. It's like
Yeah.
the kids. We used to watch films in school to learn stuff.
Yeah,
Now maybe we should start playing games. It was just
But
I think it'd be really interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite lucky because we used to grow up watching war films and stuff, so you kind of just passively learn a lot about it anyway.
Yeah,
Um, and it wasn't until I was in GCSE doing history that I actually learned about World War II properly.
yeah.
And it's really, really interesting. Like,
Yes.
it's really not hard to make history interesting for
No,
kids.
not at all. I think it is. I think this is a different, new topic.
I know.
I was
yeah.
going to say,
But
we've
well,
already
like-
gone over in this topic, but I think that's
Yeah,
definitely,
so-
you know, you could really break down and really expand on that. I think my topic obviously being, is there a place in the market for more modern tragedies to be made into games? And I think there is. And I think it
so.
could be
I
used
totally
in many
agree.
different ways.
As
and
I say, I
think
think that it's just the term game that, like,
yeah, it is.
gives it a
Yeah,
sour note.
maybe it should be experience.
like
Yeah,
Luke said,
yeah, I think that would definitely be worth it. And with
Totally.
virtual reality coming, you know, it's coming up thick and
Yeah.
fast now. I think that's definitely going to be making it a lot better
Yeah,
to
hopefully.
run with.
Hopefully.
I think we will see more stuff like that, to be honest. Once they've got the technology down, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.